What you trying to do for real? For real.
Cosmic psychedelic funk is what I came to do.
What's up, everybody? Yours truly, Takara Nicole, aka The Identity Architect, and welcome back to another episode, What's the Real Deal with Takara Nicole. So, as I promised, I will always bring you the real deal, and today's show is none other than a phenomenal guest that he prescribes prescriptions. But not what you're thinking. He helps you to see. His name is the Clarity Doctor. He goes by Timothy Moore. Welcome to What's the Real Deal with Takara Nicole. Timothy Moore, how you doing?
I'm excellent. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Appreciate you.
Oh, thank you for coming.
Prescriptions. Yes,
Prescriptions.
Yes.
So tell the people a little bit about why you have coined such a title, the Clarity Doctor. Where'd it come from?
Where'd it come from? Well, just my own journey is where it came from. It started really when I realized that I used to blame my father for everything. All failures, all mistakes. It was, if my dad would have been around, then this wouldn't happen. If my dad wouldn't have been around, this would have. So I had all these expectations that he was going to be hero and make everything right. And so when he died, I'm looking in his casket and tears just started falling, and I didn't know why the tears were falling. And it was because I realized that I had nobody to blame. That went away because he's dead. So who blames somebody who really has no control over your life? And really, he never did have control over my life. I did. So that was an aha moment for me. That was clarity. So then I released them, I let them go, and then I said to myself, I kept hearing, write the vision and make it plain, which I realized I didn't have a clear vision for my life. It wasn't plain. So I was all over the place. I was running to this and running to that and chasing this and chasing that. Nothing really made sense for me. And so I sat down and I said, okay, what's my vision? What do I see for my future? What do I want to do? Where do I want to end up? So I had been writing vision statements for my church for 4 or 5 years. So I took that skill and applied it to my own life and said, well, what's my vision? I wrote that down. It literally changed the whole trajectory of my life. I shifted, and it's been a journey. And so along the way, someone was like, the Clarity Doctor. And I was like, I like that. So it stuck.
It's interesting on how people see us in a light that we sometimes don't even see ourselves. And, when you were sharing your story about how you didn't have anybody else to blame, it's so powerful because a lot of times we have to feel like it's somebody else's fault why we're not executing in this area. Well, if they would have did this, then I wouldn't have done that. Yeah. And so when you are working with clients, I'm sure that it can be a little challenging to help them to shift, to really relinquish what it is so they can really gravitate towards the vision that God has given them. So tell the audience that's watching you today a little bit about your business and your mission and your vision with your business.
Absolutely. So taking that time, or from that time when I realized and got my own clarity and had that aha moment, that's what caused me to really start a business around helping people get clarity in their vision. When I look back, I saw majority of the mistakes that I made was because I didn't have a vision. I didn't have a true destination that I really wanted to, that I saw myself going, and that being the final destination.
That's
I wanted
good.
to end up here.
Yeah.
Something big, something exciting, something that made me feel empowered, something that gave me purpose, something that I could connect with and provide direction, or would give me direction for myself. Yeah. So I started a business just saying, all right, let's help people gain that clarity that I didn't have, because I see the impact in my own life. And so I started Vision Writers USA, which is the global leader in the creation of vision statements that inspire and facilitate community growth, economic development, taking entrepreneurs and business owners from blaming to blooming and from excuses to execution.
Now, tell me that wasn't powerful, y'all, right? So one of the things that I love about vision is that you have to know who you are in order to execute in vision. And a lot of times it's really hard to articulate who we are because of the things that we've gone through and the things that we're attached to that no longer are a part of our identity, but we still hold on to it because of whatever reasons. And so one of the things that I love about the work that you do is that you really work with your clients to help them to understand the power of their vision and to really execute on a level that's not small, because if it's small, then anybody can do it. If it's small, then you're gonna do it, and then what? And then as many times as I heard the scripture about writing the vision and making it plain, I will have to say today, plain really hit me hard. And a lot of times, as the work that I do with working with people to understand who they are as authors, there's a piece of identity that comes with that. But making the vision plain, you said something and an illustration came to my head. It's a direct path. It's not all the curves and the jumps and the hurdles and it's a direct path. And a lot of times we don't understand how it's very easy to be directed in a different pathway when your vision is not made clear and you jump on every bandwagon, you jump on every opportunity. For those that are entrepreneurs that don't know who they are, which is very dangerous, by the way, they change their brands all the time. And, you know, as people following you, it makes it very difficult for people to be attracted to you because you're shifting and you're changing. So let's talk about vision when we talk about entrepreneurship.
So, oh my God, you said a whole lot. And I'm sitting here like, ooh, don't ask me another question because.
Okay, well we gotta back up. We gotta back up. Let's dissect. Let's talk.
Yeah, I mean,
this is What's the Real Deal with Takar Nicole. So let's keep it real. Let's talk.
So you said, oh my God. So you talked about being able to pull people away and get them to relinquish that blame. To relinquish that whole "it's your fault." That's so huge. And then you tie that in with identity. So blaming to blooming.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Blaming to blooming.
Yeah.
So like you said, I spoke with one client that was like, I can't see anything.
Woo.
She was like, I only see today. And so dug a little bit and then come to find out she was angry at her mother. So everything that, and the awareness that we're doing this is so hard unless you do the work. So tying everything back to my mom didn't do this, my mom didn't do that, she did this to me, that was the foundation for her decision making. She didn't see it. And so it literally was a blind spot. She couldn't see. It was a shadow over what she wanted to do and what she hoped to do and desired to do. There was a veil over that. There was no clarity because all she was looking at is her mom. That's all she looked at and what she didn't do. So then you tie that in, all right, identity. Now, how do you really know where you want to go unless you can clearly see yourself as that person who is equipped and capable of going to that destination, and not just any destination, but that big, exciting vision, that thing that blows your mind, that scares you, that makes you feel I'm not good enough. But if you have the right vision of yourself, then you see yourself. You are good enough. You are capable. You are qualified. Not because you did everything right, but you survived the journey. You survived it. All of the heartache, all of the pain, all of the abuse, all of that stuff, you survived it. So that qualifies you to make that trip, that trek to that destination that you see. So it's all tied in together, which makes, you know, the work that we do together, which is really so powerful, going back to vision.
Yeah.
If I didn't have a vision for myself and where I was going,
Right.
we couldn't connect.
Right.
Because that's why we connect. I'm going in a direction, you're going in a direction, it's in alignment.
Yeah.
Oh, boom. That
Yeah.
works.
Right.
Okay, we can link up and we can do this because we're both going in the same direction. I don't have to convince you.
Right.
I don't have to drag you. I don't have to pull you.
Right.
You don't have to drag me. You don't have to pull me.
Thank God.
Because I'm already going there anyway.
Yeah.
The only thing we have to maybe figure out is the how. And then
Right.
finally, vision is a direct path.
Yes.
It is a direct destination. When you know where you're going, you can have straight paths for your feet, which is
Yeah.
scripture. God said he will give us straight paths. So it's a direct line of sight to where we're going. And when we have that, vision provides that. So the only thing that shifts or changes is the how.
Yeah.
But the destination, it is a direct path to get there. It is a direct path to you have to be in alignment
Yeah.
with where you're going. And that's the challenge. Being able to bring all of the stuff that you want to do, that we want to do, and bring it into alignment with the destination, which creates the path.
That was a lot, but much needed, because there's a lot of people out here, especially in the world that we live in now, that really have been tossed to and fro, and they have lost a sense of who they are, and they cannot see clearly.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the work that you do is so commendable, because it's not just a vision statement, ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
that he creates for people. When I first worked with him, which was back in 2019, my vision statement, literally the more that I started reciting it, which is something that he teaches all of his clients, which I absolutely love. When you recite it and you start, saying it and affirming it, it attracts what you're saying. And so back then, because it's shifted since then, some of the things that we were calling into existence through my vision statement was, me being an international figure, which shortly after me working with him, getting my own vision statement, I started to get calls to speak on international platforms during COVID.
Wow.
And also, I'm on a radio show at least a couple times a year in the UK. And so it's just, do you believe in the vision that God has created for you? And are you bold enough to stand on it, to do that work, to memorize it when you're working with somebody like you? Like it's literally an affirmation, but it's a declaration that you're standing on, and you're stating, this is who I am. Flat-footed, as the old folks would say.
Stand flat-footed.
Stand flat-footed.
10 toes up.
Yeah, and stand tall and stand firm on what you see. And a lot of times it's hard for people to even, execute what they see, because they're only seeing so far.
Yes. And they stop seeing it after a while because life
Yeah.
starts getting in their vision, starts getting in their ways, starts just stealing their attention.
Yes.
When life happens, it'll just steal your attention away from your intention.
Woo, say
It'll
that again.
steal your attention away from your intention,
Yeah.
which really is what your vision is, your intention.
Right.
And and I've been on this journey really of just having intentional language
Whoa.
and removing try from my vocabulary.
Yes.
And it's either do or not do. And when you're intentional, you speak what you're going to do.
That's
you
right.
declare what you're going to do. You state what you're going to do. And that's all you affirm. That's
Right.
programming. That's programming yourself. This is my intention. And anything other that is not an intention it's really something that's grabbing your attention. And so I'm just really learning to basically command my day
Yes.
through those, like, this is what I intend to do.
Right. And vision is, a lot of people think that vision is complex, and it's not. Vision is one of those things that is literally a GPS to help you to navigate through life, along with knowing who you are. And that's why we do make an amazing team. He talks about vision, I talk about identity on different platforms we do together and different workshops that we're working on, relaunching to the world. And just understanding how vision plus identity does equal purpose. That's our equation that we created. And just understanding that there's a lot of people out in this world that desire to know who they are. And they have pockets of being in this place of executing in who they are, but they're not successful because they don't have a clear vision.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. How do you work through those barriers with your clients to help them to understand from having a blurred vision to a clear vision? Like, what does that look like?
Right. So until I really developed a framework, it was kind of hard to take people through the transformation process. So once I created a framework, then I had a step-by-step process, a destination that they go from here. So that framework is called RAPID. So the 5 pillars of creating that vision statement is reach, audience, pain, identity, and desired results. And so when I take a person through each of those stages, I'm able to recognize the challenges that they're having. So when I start out with, and they have a brand, or they have a brand that they want to launch, they kind of have a thing, they sort of have a thing, or they have a list of things. Any of that stuff. They have a thing, they kind of have a thing, they want to have a thing, or they have a list of things. So with that, let's say, what's your reach? How big, how far do you want that impact to be? And so it's global, universal, worldwide, local, national, or state. And whatever word resonates, that's the word that applies to their brand. Whatever just triggers, whatever just makes them say, oh my God, that's it. And then immediately I'll see clients be like, but no, I just want to, like, they'll stop the energetic flow or the energetic belief of what their heart knows their impact is. I will watch them stop it, quench the spirit, so to speak, because they have a flow on the inside of them and they'll quench it. So if I recognize that, I'll tap in and say, okay, why not? Why can't you? What's the problem? And then they'll start making things like, well, I don't know how. Well, you're not supposed to know how. You're just supposed to believe. Struggle happens, number one.
Just believe.
Just believe.
What's that?
Yeah, how do I believe?
What?
Life has been so bad. Life has been horrible. I only believe bad things can happen. All right, red flag number 2. Those are all experiences that have blinded them to the possibilities of their life.
Yeah.
So now we got to work through those. We got to unpack. We got to rebuild the foundation of their belief system. So that's like work. Then we get into audience. All right. Who loves you automatically? Who do you like automatically? Who reaches out to you? What are those people like?
Wow.
What are some of the things that they do?
Wow.
What is the music they listen to? Just automatically, when you're at church, when you're in school, when you're at the library, who do you organically have conversations with?
Organically, yes.
And organically is that authentic person.
Yes.
Well, now, identity. Who are you authentically? Did you bury that? Did you cover that up? Are you this person that people told you that you are?
Exactly.
Well, let's figure out who you are.
Yeah.
So there's identity, then there's pain. What have you been through that makes you attract certain people? Wow. What have you been through? What have you experienced? How hurt are you that you attract these people and you keep focusing on your hurt and on your pain and the blame that you have? You keep attracting that because you live in that space energetically. spiritually, your conversation. Everything you talk about is my dad, my mom, my ex, my child. Like your whole conversation is around that. Energetically, that's your audience. Those are the people who've been listening to you. You've been telling a story to them for years, and they love hearing you talk about the pain of your baby daddy and the pain of your ex. They love hearing you. That's your audience. So how do we shift that now as you're transforming to serving that same audience, but only serving them now from a healed place?
You know, you said a whole lot, and the one thing that resonates so clear is that a lot of us say that we want healing, but we're not willing to walk through the steps to get it. We think that it's something that's just supposed to fall down on us and then we're healed. And you cannot see clearly when you're broken, when you're bruised, when you want to put the pain and put the everything on everybody else, and you don't want to own anything.
You don't want to own.
You don't want to own anything.
Yeah.
And it's really tough for you to really even see who you are when you really aren't living the best quality of life because you're so busy blaming everybody else for what they've done that you're not even looking internally to see who you are, what you've done, and all those good things. And so, I could preach on identity all day, which I will do that one day for you guys. Not today, okay?
Right.
No, we're here talking about vision. One of the things that I love about Timothy that he does is that he makes you want to understand who you are by encouraging you to see who you are. What would you say to that person that's watching this show and they're stuck? Their vision is limited. What are 2 things that you would leave them with to even get them on the path of alignment? What would you say to them?
I would start with their pain. Pain is such a powerful portion of the possibilities.
Yeah.
Pain is a powerful portion of our possibilities.
Yeah.
And so understand what you're really hurt by. Ask the questions of why does this person make me so mad?
Yeah.
Is it really them?
Right.
Or is it really a belief about yourself that you've already had that they're now validating or lining up with? So if you already believe something that somebody else said, it really isn't them. It's you. So digging into your own pain and the roots of your own pain and your own belief system and a lot of things that we believe about ourselves, it really starts with there. That would be the first place if they're having trouble. I had a conversation today, and it was just really talking about when you living a life where you can be celebrated because you are showing up as your best version. People will celebrate you when you show up as your best version and giving value to people.
Yeah.
So we gotta ask that question, am I giving value to people? And if you're really living a life where you're rehearsing pain, you can't really give value to people because all you talk about and all you live is your pain. So that encapsulates really like the first step of unpacking so you can see your vision, because that clouds it. And then you go from there, you say, okay, I understand that. Now you have to ask yourself, how do you really want to help people?
Mouthful. Definitely not enough for one show, right? We'll definitely have to have them come back. What would you say to someone who's an entrepreneur that has gotten stuck? What's one piece of advice that you would give them?
Ask them what their vision is. What do they really see?
Yeah.
And then are they in alignment with it?
Right.
Because we take steps and move according to what we see. That's our biggest sense that we use as humans. People hear, people feel, people touch, but we depend on sight more than anything.
Yeah.
And so you have to ask that person, do you still see what you saw when you first started your entrepreneurial journey? Do you still see that? And are you looking at it?
Are you looking at it? And you know, when you say that, I think about, do you really believe that you're that person that can execute the vision?
Yeah.
You know,
And then you have to become it.
and then you have to become it again, or go back to
Personal development.
Yeah, go back to
It's key.
figuring it out. Like, where did I get lost? What happened? What shifted?
Yeah.
Just asking yourself those questions. And that's the one thing I can say. Since I've known Tim, he's helped me to like really, when something is like, ooh, you know, like, where'd that come from? You know, I go back and do that hard dig, which is really important to be able to execute on purpose and to really own your vision, own who you are, and all that amazing stuff. So when Tim comes back to the show, because we didn't have an opportunity to really dive into his authorship journey, he became an author last year, and we're going to talk about that book when we bring him back. But one of the things that I want Tim to leave you guys with are some inspiring words. So what are some things that you would want to share with the people today?
Really, I guess one thing, or not I guess, is intentional language. Be intentional and learn to speak intentional about everything that you want to do. The next thing would be you create a vision if you don't have one. If you do have one, make sure that it's a vision that you believe in and that you love, and use that vision as leverage for your decisions that you make. Don't make decisions that are out of alignment with your vision. And I think we do that a lot. We think our vision is just something in the back of our mind.
Yeah.
Your vision is what you're looking at, and so it should be in the forefront, which is why I make people write the vision every day and recite it so that it does remain in the forefront of your life.
Well, let the church say amen, and let the church say amen again. This has been a wonderful episode of What's the Real Deal with Takara Nicole with Timothy Moore. We thank you, sir. And just like that, we're out.
Peace. Peace.
What you trying to do for real? For real.
Cosmic psychedelic funk is what I came to do.